Woohoo!
All right. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to My Cup of Tea, episode number 19, where we're going to be discussing a lot of the different things in film that normally drop the day after our recordings. So that's fun. Going to be diving into a lot of different things. But yeah, joining us as always, we got Evan.
There I am. Yeah, I'm doing good, kind of. I did my first all-nighter of the semester last night, so I'm feeling groggy, feeling tired, but I will not fall asleep in the middle of this podcast, so you guys can count on me. Otherwise, yeah, I'm having a good time. I can't wait to talk about a lot of the news over the past couple of weeks.
And also joining us, we have Carson.
Yeah, nice to be back. Same boat for me. Tired. College is destroying me. Only got one more semester left. I can't complain, but we're here to talk about movies. That's all that matters. I'm ready to talk about all this Spider-Verse news and, speculate about how Loki's going to be in Thor 4 and, all those little bits that we have to talk about. Yeah, can't wait.
No. All right. What's up, AJ?
What's up, AJ?
What's up?
All right, so I think we'll go into my favorite topic, the Spider-Verse.
Yeah, it's so funny. Over the summer, we either had a lot of Mandalorian scoops on a Hyperspace hype or Spider-Man 3 rumors on this podcast. So let's keep it rolling.
Now, you know me. You know my deep love of all of the info I've been getting and how fun I'm having. This is not that weak, apparently.
No.
Truly a new perspective. In the positive, though, I will say I am fascinated to see, because now there's rumor reports that Alfred Molina will be reprising his role as Otto Octavius, Dr. Octopus himself, for presumably Spider-Man 3, or if it's Spider-Verse separately, maybe it's just like all merged because scoops get jumbled. I don't know. But also, that's interesting, because I think he's probably is like the best Spider-Man villain we've seen.
Definitely. I agree.
Hands down, I think.
Absolutely. And I'm definitely intrigued to see him again. I think that is really exciting. However, if I go off of my previous existing theories of hype, this I feel like muddles it in a sense and into a way I am not about. So let me break it down. My whole thing was just like basically coming off of the whole Jamie Foxx Electro stuff was just like, oh, this is super cool that now, because I believe there was a way of like, okay, he potentially could have like survived and it could be the same iteration, because this is how I want it to have the continued connection with the Tobey and Andrew worlds. I was all about that. But with this rumor of Alfred Molina returning, and if I go off my same logic, that scares me, because now I'm thinking, they're going to take an already dead character, but if it's from that same universe, then they may split the existing movie timeline instead of continuing where the franchise ended. And I don't want erasure of storylines. I want like the further development of where they're at, because I think I was going for like a full rant on Twitter. I was like, damn well they're not high school age anymore. Don't go back to this time period. Just move forward. And so that concerns me in that sense. Now, granted, it could also be a thing where it's like an alternate universe Doc Ock as well, but it's the same actor. But then that starts to jumble my original theory plan, so I don't know.
Could it be like a window in time sort of thing, where it's kind of like temporary, but kind of also reset by the end kind of deal? But then again, it's like you said, like why would, damn well knowing that they're not high school age, why would you return and set them, burden that exact time period and write over it versus continuing? So it is confusing. Or maybe there's a way they can do it where it's just the villains kind of have that, and then later in the movie, the continuation of those Spider-Mans would help the current Peter out, or whatever the multiverse stuff is.
It could be.
Super curious.
Yeah, it could be a sense of like what they did with like Thanos and Endgame, where it's like a different set time period, but we're still like weary. So it's like a Scarlet Witch Thanos, I don't know who you are type deal.
Yeah.
So it'd be like, oh, Doc Ock's back, and it's just like, what are you talking about? Stuff like that.
That works. I always did have a different theory than you, Nathan, because the whole Electro thing coming in, I figured like, okay, it's the same. It's Jamie Foxx, but he's playing a different Electro. He's going to be yellow instead of blue.
Which I thought
So
was just going to be like an evolution.
yeah, which could definitely still be the case because we have no idea what's going to happen. But yeah, with Doc Ock appearing now, I'm like, okay, so it's a similar thing with Electro, where it's a different version of Doc Ock from Spider-Man 2 because he did die at the end of Spider-Man 2. He gets kind of redeemed and then floats down the river, whatever it was. He
The
died.
sun?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He carries
the
the sun. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or what was supposed to be the sun. It was weird. It's comic books.
Small sun. Yeah.
Small sun.
All of New York.
Not as hot. No. And then, yeah, so he's dead. So now bringing him back, my complaint is in terms of the whole Spider-Verse of it all, as we were just joking about earlier, at the end of Spider-Man 2, I remember watching some director featurette where they're like, okay, his identity is revealed. He's going to be on the run, and he's all alone now. He has nobody but himself. That doesn't seem to be the case anymore because Doctor Strange is coming in. We have Electro coming in. We have rumors of different Peter Parkers coming in, which I think is still not going to happen, but people keep saying it is going to happen. And then now we have Doc Ock, and now we have Electro. And I'm like, I thought just Electro coming in as the villain, Doctor Strange kind of introducing the multiverse early on would be okay. I can kind of deal with that. But now you're bringing in Electro, possibly even Vulture, because that still has to be tied up with the whole Morbius of it all, too. Sinister Six teases that I'm sure Sony and Marvel want to do in this movie as well. So it's a lot of different villains, a lot of different plot points coming in. And I'm just here wanting to see, like, oh, how is he going to react that his identity is revealed? Nobody's really caring about that anymore. It's more about, like, how is Toby and Andrew going to interact with him? I'm like, his identity is revealed. This is theory.
Remember Nathan's theory about how it's going to be, like, that was going to be tied into it directly of, like that being a choice of, like, oh, I'm going to escape this timeline because I can't live here anymore, or something like that, where it'd be like, or Doctor Strange would be showing him the potential of what the other timelines would look like, and then something goes wrong. I could see that happening. But I can definitely see him trying to, like, escape and then end up being alone and kind of stranded.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, okay, if I try to, like, break it down. So now I'm, like, reevaluating my theories. I'm trying to, like, come up with a thing that I think would be more comfortable flow. What I think is, like, I don't think this is necessarily going to be a Spider-Verse movie for Spider-Man 3. I think what we're probably getting is, like, the same thing with, like, Mandalorian, where we got, like, so many character scoops, but it's just, like, they're not, like, all continuous, like, in, like, every episode. It's just, like, a pop-up. And I think what it'll be is, like, setup of, like, sprinkled in, like, maybe toward the end of the film while things are happening, however the course of the plot goes, and then that'll set up a Spider-Verse film after 3. Also, in this sense, because I remember, like, before all of this, like, crazy scoops, I think these are just the most tantalizing scoops that are being, like, spread around, because it's just like, oh yeah, like, these will make great headlines, when I don't think they're going to be the primary case. I think it's like, because we reported on rumors of, like, the whole Kraven stuff, which would fit a much better plotline of the identity reveal being hunted.
100%.
I remember we talked about that.
Yeah, I'm still shocked. Craven is still rumored to be an individual movie for Sony. I think it's still on that kind of guidepost, and I think that's kind of stupid. I just want to say though, I don't think Alfred Molina is going to be in this movie. I think it was an.
It's reported he's filming scenes.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, somebody says he's filming scenes, but there's no images. There's nothing. It's just like somebody from somewhere probably saw an image of him in a studio or something. It's like, it just seems less viable to me compared to, like, Jamie Foxx, who's on Instagram saying, "Hey guys, I'm back."
He was, like, all the fan art he was sharing and stuff.
Yeah, which of course can mean, like, they're doing Alfred Molina as a big surprise, which I would totally be welcome to. But just for me, Alfred Molina is so integral to the Spider-Man. Like, as a fan of the movies, like, his Doc Ock was so filled with depth. And I feel like if they just get a Doc Ock who's now just another villain again in a short amount of time, it's going to be just like a hollow version of Doc Ock. I don't really want that.
Sure.
Especially if he's not going to be the main villain. I think Electro is still going to be the main villain. Doc Ock's just going to be there. It just seems very, like, hollow. I'm not sure I want Alfred Molina just to be like, "Hey, I'm an evil Doc Ock. I want to kill Spider-Man." I'm like, the reason why I loved him in Spider-Man 2 was because he had a vendetta, or he had a mission that was more than Spider-Man.
Yeah, it was also like a deeper thing of like what like Peter like strives to be, because Otto has everything figured out and like he's a science genius.
Exactly. Yeah. I got to piece out real quick. I'll be right back.
Okay. Perfect timing, so I just go off more on Spider-Verse.
Haha.
Yeah, I was telling him that too before we started. But yeah, I think we could have a solid thing going, because my biggest fear was like, and just going back to like what my whole like crux of my worriness is that like if we split from the timeline, it would be such like a weird point, because if it's like Spider-Man 2, it is just like, does Toby not have his powers? Are we gonna have like a weird Spider's adventure with the Spider-Man that can't do what a spider can? Going through all these different things, or will it be like he just got him back? Like, where in the plot would that factor? If we go like off of Andrew's stuff, like, is he still searching for answers about his parents? Like, again, stuff like that, trying to break it all down. It's like all the Oscorp conspiracies coming in and all that. It's
right.
just, it's a lot.
There's so many layers to it, right? It is like, I think it'd be kind of funny if you did have like those different points of Spider-Man, like if they all do end up, on screen at the same time, which I don't know if it's going to happen in this movie, but it seems to be a lot of like fan momentum, at least, of like, hey, this would be cool if this is where things are headed. I remember seeing that GIF that you retweeted yesterday of someone did a fan edit of, I think it was Amazing Spider-Man or Amazing Spider-Man 2 scene.
Yeah, they're all in Times Square with Electro.
Yeah. Which looks so cool. I'm like, okay,
it does.
This is pretty cool. So yeah, I'd love to see the dynamic between the three. And I'm just trying to think of like the consequences of it happening. I'm like, okay, how is it gonna work?
I was actually thinking of like real world consequences of just like of Sony, because I was like, wow, if they like truly like dive into like so many alternate universes, they're like, we have tapped a gold mine of any project we can think of. Like,
right.
because like there's your Craven movie, there's like I'm not gonna lie, I would love to see a Superior Spider-Man storyline where Otto and Peter switch bodies and Peter dies in Otto's body.
Oh my gosh.
And he's still, but like part of Peter is still in his soul's still in his body, and he has to like fight his way through like his memories and stuff to like regain control again.
Oh my god.
Great
that
story.
Sounds trippy, and I kind of want it.
Right.
But yeah, like I hope. I honestly don't want to really hear anymore. I hope we don't have to cover any more Spider-Man scoops, because
I guarantee
like
we will.
Yeah, no, it will be a definite.
If it gets announced Toby and Andrew, it's like, yeah, then like that's gonna come out. But anything else, I don't want.
Right, which I guess would only be confirmation of things that we've heard. Scoops. I feel like there's been 17 scoops about.
Check out the new trailer on Jimmy Kimmel. Like, I don't know.
Someone made a fan trailer too for Spider-Man 3. What did they call it? They called it. What was the fan title going around that everyone wants? Home. I mean, it kept
Home Run.
The home theme.
Probably.
I think Home Run maybe, or Home.
Home Invasion.
Homebound. I don't know.
Homebound.
Home
There's
Invasion.
a lot of Home Alone.
Speaking of Home Alone, sidebar.
Homesick.
I was making a video today for work, and I go on YouTube, just like get a scene of Home Alone, right? Because I was using it. It's like this Christmas video that we're doing. And Home Alone is just in its totality on YouTube in 4K. Someone posted like a month ago.
Oh.
And you can just watch the whole thing. And people in the comments were like, oh, yeah, I can't wait to set my alarm and watch this on Christmas. I'm like, who posted this?
Not only that, but like, wow, you're giving a lot of trust that it'll still be up by then, maybe.
I know. People are so optimistic. I'm like, oh my. So I was just. I remember I
stumbled one day. And like very plain in the title it was Django Unchained in full 1080p. I was like, hello, and everybody in the comments was like, nobody snitch. Like,
isn't it amazing that like the smallest things in like when you're trying to do a video will get flagged, and then like somehow like the entire movie credits and all will just be there on YouTube, like not flagged, and you're like wait, this
and
is...
sometimes I'm not like, I don't even have to put tags, they'll just find me, and I'm just like,
yeah,
why can't I? This dude uploaded an entire major motion picture, and I'm just like doing the fair use stuff, and like, nope. All right.
Yeah, which is like, uploading a whole movie is like so illegal. Like it's so like you
Yeah.
probably get legal repercussions for that, because especially if it gets traction. Like say like all of a sudden like the actual movie that you posted illegally gets 1 million views. Like you're screwed, because they can
Yeah.
not only claim all the income or whatever off of it, but yeah, that's messed.
I did a silly thing, which kind of ties back to the Spider-Man stuff. When I was a kid, I had a camcorder and I had a YouTube channel. And Spider-Man 3 was pretty new on DVD, and I was like thinking about like ways to get views, because you're just a kid obsessed about that. And I was working with my friend. I was like, okay, let's sit quietly off to the side, set up the camcorder, and just record the TV playing Spider-Man 3 and upload it. And I think I got like 40 something minutes. I know it's dead gone now, but like when I did at the time, I got like a comment where like this dude who was like, I think he was like doing something at a rec center. He was like, "This is very useful, thank you." I was like, "What?" I'm over here in middle school, just up pirating.
You wouldn't steal a car.
You wouldn't download a car. It's my favorite. Like,
I saw the best meme of that the other day. It said, "You wouldn't Laura Dern."
Yeah, I saw that. It's so good.
Oh my god, so precious.
But I guess with the whole instance of the Spider-Man thing, I guess now I'm probably being more open to like it is new iterations, because they said it's a whole new look for Electro. Now I can imagine it'll probably be a new look for Alfred Molina. It'll be a new iteration. I just hope that doesn't deter, and it probably won't with how much we're hearing about. You do all this crazy stuff, you're not going to get Toby and Andrew. Like that's insane. So they definitely will. It's just like now I have to reevaluate how my theory was going to work. I just hope they're coming from the end of their franchises. So because it's like way more interesting, because as I always go off, like imagine like an older Spider-Man with Toby, more experience. Maybe he has a kid who will inherit power. Something like that would be cool. I praise the thought every time of Andrew having to go through PTSD, potentially seeing a Spider-Gwen, which there is rumor today, just based off of Emma Stone not working with anything, but says she has scheduling conflicts with this movie. If she's maybe a part of this as well, which would be really cool, because we did have a rumor.
That is suspicious. I'm like, wait a minute. You're passing on your longtime collaborators, Dave Chazelle's Babylon.
Right.
What do you have going? Like that seems like your next movie. Like I don't know. Interesting. With Brad Pitt. I'm like,
Yeah, which would be cool. And like it would totally fit with like the angles of like alternate. I mean, hell, Alfred Molina could come from the Spider-Gwen universe for all we know, stuff like that, and then like have Emma come in. That would be. It's just those dynamics would be so cool. And it is, when you look at the grand scheme, it's obviously way too much for a Spider-Man 3 plot, and it gets like muddied for like the whole storyline of like secret identities out here, which is a great one for the MCU, because we really haven't had that, because no hero actually cares about their secret identity out, because they have the whole government protection and stuff, and like the Shield and Avengers and all that, but he's just a kid in high school, so it's like an important dynamic. This is also a storyline that hasn't properly been explored in film at all, because it gets like wrapped up pretty quick.
I think they're gonna explore too, like with the high school stuff, probably like the social media angle of like literally people like trying to dox Peter, like like because he's just a kid, and they're probably just like spamming his Instagram of like Peter Parker, like, hey, like
yeah. I've seen somebody make like I think they were like writing a story, and they like Photoshop together like these text messages in universe, where it's like I'm just like, Peter, you okay? Like Happy's like, call me, kid, we need to figure this out, and like Flash like, are you really Spider-Man? Like, because he's a super Spider-Man fan, but always like shits on Peter.
Yeah, so shits on Peter, which gosh, yeah, I'm excited. I still think this movie, I don't know if it's gonna come out next year. I still think there's just a lot of moving pieces.
Well, Tom's filming right now.
They're filming.
I just saw his Insta story. He's talking about, which I was like pointing out in chat, like, dude, I was surprised. I was like looking at Tom, probably because he just went through his Uncharted shooting diet or something, but he looks so much older than he did before. I was like, wow. I mean, I don't want them to fast track older Peter, but like, you could get there.
Yeah, they kind of had to age up. I mean, a little bit age up Nathan Drake, I'm sure, because Tom looks like the Peter Parker in high school, you know.
Also, Tom is like mid-20s right now. He's not like
I know, which is
a
every time we
teenager. He just had like such a soft face, I guess, but like now he's just like more rugged from the Uncharted.
Just speaking of that kind of actor, the guy that plays Newt in the Maze Runner and is in the Queen's Gambit, Thomas Sanderson or Thomas, I can't remember his full name. However, he's 30 years old, and I thought the man was like 22. And I'm like,
really?
Wait a minute. So I'm like thinking that
yeah.
Tom's gonna have the same thing. Like, I bet other people are gonna be like, "Wait, this man is not 30." I feel like he's gonna be the next person to age like Paul Rudd.
Yeah, Paul Rudd, Keanu Reeves, just like ageless. It's perfect.
Ageless movie star.
Absolutely. Yeah, I don't know how. I mean, I've gone off on Spider-Verse theories so many times. I guess if I like touch on the Doctor Strange stuff, I think he'll like be around, like maybe give like some point of view here or there, but I think Strange will probably be busy with his own stuff. I mean, we're talking a dude who like is supposed to be the multiverse protector, so I think he'll come back into that plot in the factor of like Spider-Verse and stuff. They'll probably like setting it up here to be used later because it's going to be the whole bridge of that. But
I think he'll
otherwise,
mostly come to the rescue, or like help him out of a rut or a multiverse rut or whatever happening.
maybe.
I'm so curious to how he's factored in, but like you said, there's just so much there's so many moving pieces now that I think all these pieces are probably going to be a little less prevalent than we think. It can't all be at once,
Yeah.
Did you guys talk about how there's still supposed to get a first special look in December for Spider-Man 3?
Really?
Remember about that? Remember some source said like we're going to get a special look? Is that still a thing?
I mean,
that could answer a lot of our questions.
I don't think it'll answer any of these scoops. I think they'll still keep it limited, but because they just started filming.
You think they won't announce like if Toby and him it's going to be in it or whatever?
Maybe. I mean, I'd be down for that. That would at least like keep the intrigue alive, I suppose, because we have a whole nother year. I mean, I think we're in the.
I forgot about that.
I think it'll be in the same instance where they dropped the Spider-Verse trailer a whole year before the movie came out. So.
Oh, you're right. They did. Huh.
Evan, thoughts on Emma Stone leaving a project for nothing else, and then also there's all the Spider-Verse rumors.
I love how we're so like comic book in our comic book brains. It has to be Gwen Stacy. I wouldn't mind. I like your theory from a couple weeks ago with like saying like, oh yeah, my Peter died, or like in my universe, that kind of thing with Spider-Gwen, if they go that route. But I think it's something completely different. Like I think Emma's doing a lot of like period, the favorite 2 or something. I don't know.
I mean,
yeah, okay. Well, I was saying
star with Brad Pitt with her longtime collaborator Damien Chazelle. It's just a little fishy.
You think she would do this over Babylon?
The checks don't lie.
Yeah.
The checks do not lie. Kevin Feige said, I'll add a 0 to whatever you're getting paid. And I said, okay.
And I was actually pitching, well, maybe like this, because now I'm thinking like, well, it's probably gonna be like a new version of the Doc Ock, like the same as you were saying for Electro. Maybe like they just split from different universes. Maybe like one of them comes from Spider-Gwen universe, and that could tie her in stuff. Because I really want that. I really want the plot, because I really want the plot line of like Gwen and Peter from the different universes couldn't save each other, and then they meet. And it's a protection.
That just sounds really cool. I love that idea, Nathan. I would cry in the theater.
Which I keep going off about the death of Gwen, but like also a reminder to anybody that like Peter became the Lizard in the Spider-Gwen world and died because of it.
Yeah.
So yeah,
read the Spider-Gwen comics, everybody. They're fantastic. I love them so much.
I'll get on them after I finish all the Batman comics.
She plays in a band called the Mary Janes, right?
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
Mary Jane.
Mary Jane's the lead singer.
We're very annoying, but then they grow to like be cool. Carson, the guy that never finishes TV shows, comic books, movies, anything.
Hey, you know what? I'm gonna finish out the semester of school strong.
Oh, okay. Now you're gonna finish. Okay, cool.
And then I'll watch Daredevil as a treat, and I won't be crucified in the group chat anymore over now watching Daredevil.
For that, but yeah, I guess that basically will wrap up our topic for that, because I talk about it every week. There's not much more. I just like It's just a tweak in like the same types of things I'd be saying. It's just,
watch something tomorrow and be like, oh, what's it called? The Lizard. The guy who played the Lizard in Amazing Spider-Man is going to be back.
Tom Hardy spotted on set with Tom Holland in Spider-Man.
Oh God.
Then I will go off, but
That would be crazy.
yeah, that'll about wrap it up. Okay, but that ends my first rant. Next one, Godzilla versus Kong, the event of the millennium, the end game of all kaiju experiences, the spectacle that must be seen, experience it in IMAX and Dolby, whenever it must be. Maybe going to streaming? How dare you?
HBOMAX.
How dare you? Attempt to take away the king's spotlight on the titans that they've been described as and put them on the smallest screen. How dare you?
You know what? This does not surprise me, and I'll tell you why.
I know why, but I refuse.
First of all, I think this is going to still be in theaters in some way or form.
Yeah, after what they're doing with Wonder Woman gives me hope there.
Yes. And I still think it's kind of a temporary, like, we're scared of what the box office is going to look like even in May as vaccines are getting rolled out. We don't know what it's going to look like. It probably is very much they're looking at Wonder Woman right now and going to see what that will do. And then we'll probably make a decision. But the reality is that King of the Monsters really underperformed, and it's been both Godzilla 2014 and this movie's have kind of been, I would honestly kind of on like a Fast and Furious path of like doing really heavy numbers in China and then like only like 20-25% of their returns in the United States, and so. If they make a sale for $200 million and cover their production budget, and then they could just release it in China and make. Let me tell you, I think King of Monsters made $135 million alone in China.
Wait, say it again.
Huge. Godzilla, basically 33% of King of Monsters box office came from China.
Wow, they like their kaiju.
So it could be an instance where all the U.S. rights get sold to HBO Max, or whoever. Yeah, I think the news was like Nathan, is it or Warner Media is creating a new deal because Netflix offered a price tag and then they said no, hold it, wait a minute, we don't want it going to Netflix.
Which is fascinating, right? That even was a thing because
right.
Godzilla is a Warner Brothers property. I didn't know they had like the ability to just go to shop it at Netflix or something. I'm like, wouldn't the first people they go to is their home studio? Mm-hmm. That's very
maybe they didn't. Maybe they weren't shopping. I could see an instance of Netflix being like, "Hey, we know you've moved this movie like 5 times," and like because Netflix has kind of been synonymous for that now. I think of kind of like, hey, your diminishing returns are kind of gonna look bad. Here's you can make back your budget, and it will kind of be a buzzy movie on streaming.
You're exactly right, Carson, but to my knowledge, I can't think of a massive movie the size of like King Kong or Godzilla versus King Kong on Netflix. The kinds of Netflix movies that we get are you have your white guy action hero thriller like Extraction,
Enola
Holmes, or like I can't think of it, or like the Ben Affleck, Oscar Isaac one.
Nothing is big, like
nothing huge. I think the biggest one they're going to do is the upcoming Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, Ryan Reynolds Red Notice movie with Gal Gadot. Yeah. That's probably going to be their biggest one so far. Even then, the Michael Bay movie seemed kind of Michael Bay-ish, but also tame compared to like Transformers. So I'm not really, I never had a doubt that they would go to HBO Max rather than Netflix. But yeah, also, it was very funny watching the Twitter reaction to this because it seemed like a lot more people were bummed about this than Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman, they're like, HBO Max, yes, I get to watch it on Christmas. Godzilla vs. King Kong. No, I need to see this in theaters. I'm like,
No, and also the hyperbole reactions of like cinema is dead, like this
Oh,
seal
yeah.
the
Every
deal.
time, every time.
I'm like, guys,
It's
take
ridiculous.
a step back and just look at it for a second, and then you realize it probably is not as absurd as you think it is. Like, I don't know.
Not at all. It's funny you mentioned the whole Fast and the Furious argument. I bet this franchise wishes they were Fast and the Furious because Americans love them some cars jumping off
they do.
of roofs and buildings and bullcrap.
Now I love
Justice
Fast
for Han. Here we go. I'm so
Justice for
guys. I'm
Han.
so hyped.
$1 billion guaranteed.
Oh yeah, and I love Fast and Furious. Like it's so fun.
It's a fun franchise. I mean, after
But
5,
God damn it, giant monsters.
yeah. I mean, I want to. I'm with you, Nathan. Before you start going on your big rant, I'm with you because I want to see this on the big screen. I did not love King of the Monsters. I think the plot was really ridiculous at points, but visually it was incredible to watch. I loved watching. I saw that in IMAX.
The
it was great to
soundtrack, "I Will Die on the Hill," is
Ooh,
so
yeah.
good. Barry McCreary did.
Yeah,
an
and I
amazing job
remember.
on
Do you
that.
remember Nathan? Remember the
The
prologue that
trailer.
we always talked about, or the 5-minute clip, the IMAX
it was
clip
it was
that
like
always
7 minutes.
played.
I saw it so much because I saw Endgame like 8 times. I told you, and I saw it like 7 out of
That's
those
right.
times. I saw it a couple
5-minute
times.
clip.
It was like 7 minutes, I think. Actually,
What?
it was like a breakdown of like the Ghidorah coming out of the Arctic, waking up and stuff,
Out
and
of
then
the
they started
ice,
going through
yep.
big clips. And I was a big super fan going off. I was like, are they like at the end they had like the red Godzilla, and I was like, are they doing the nuclear meltdown from Godzilla vs. Destroyer? I'm like, being a big, and it actually was, and I was like, oh my god, I love this film so much. It's for like it's fan servicey as hell, but like I loved it. Yeah, no, I watched it like every time I saw it in IMAX in front of Shazam. Like they were playing it for a bit.
Oh, wow.
It was great every time too. I was so hyped every time. So, I don't know if you guys were making more
in IMAX. I think it probably will end up where it kind of just dissolves, and then April comes out, the box office starts doing good again. Quiet Place 2, brings people back. Hopefully,
Which one's first, A Quiet Place or James Bond?
I think A Quiet Place is first. I could be wrong.
It might be a couple weeks before.
A week or two. Let me see here in a second. It is No Time to Die is first. April 2nd.
You know what? Speaking of that, I read another article today saying that MGM and MGM investors and people that funded the movie are nervous about the April date because
I saw that too. They're going to be the first big blockbuster. Oh God.
Yeah.
Put him back on SNL.
Which an interesting note because Bond has like a higher demographic audience, I would say, like a older, not higher.
Definitely.
So I think those people are more reluctant to go back to the movie theaters right away. Versus our age, where we're like, we gotta go see the IMAX.
Yeah. Not a lot of my friends are like, Evan, I can't wait to go see James Bond. Like, they're not.
Yeah,
but
because it's more of a classic kind of franchise. It's not like a.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a Marvel. I mean, it's just different. It's Rami Malek with a creepy mask on saying James Bond. I love that trailer so much. When he's sitting on top of the ice, I cannot wait.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's supposed to be the best James Bond villain, apparently.
I'll believe it. But all right. So
you're excited about this, Nathan. You're super excited.
Look.
Hey,
I knew
before you start, we got 4K support for HBO Max for Wonder Woman.
All right, Nathan, I'm gonna let you finish, but streaming is doing great.
I know, right?
Okay, I'll mute myself now, so I don't.
All right, look, I'm not gonna lie. I know what I signed up for ever since I saw the Kong box office. I knew we weren't in a good shape, but I was like, but King of the Monsters and all the monsters, and look at this gorgeous marketing. Wow. And then we go in and it's like, okay, well, however, I can't make that compelling of an argument because the numbers don't lie. I will say I have hope just in the sense of like with how like long theaters have been closed, whenever they decide to open back up, I think people will be eager to go again and like have like the big like crowd energies that they've had. And I think like what better type of film of like a big scale than like Godzilla versus Kong, where it's like a big old matchup of these monsters that have been throughout pop culture forever. Godzilla 1954, Kong since 33. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and they had a matchup together like before in like the 60s, which was fun fact. First time either of them first appeared in color was that film.
Oh.
Oh yeah, look at that. But yeah, I think like so many people were like, I would love to see an updated version of this, even if it was like rubber suits again. But like the fact that we have like the standard VFX we have today, and like how gorgeous King of the Monsters looked, I want to see that scale with Godzilla versus Kong. It just seems like it would be such a fun thing. I don't know if it would end up being like a BVS situation where they have to team up against a bigger threat. I think it will. I think they'll pull something like Mechagodzilla.
They fight for a bit and then they're mates.
Yeah, instead of Martha, it's Mothra. But save Mothra.
Well, what you're saying, Nathan, I think makes sense because I think like whether it's Bond or Godzilla, these two franchises have survived for decades. Like regardless of what happens this next year, I don't think they're going anywhere. They're too strong of a franchise. It's just going to keep adapting and reinventing itself.
Oh, absolutely. Like this current one, like in coherence with like Japan, who also has like started like back up their suitmation, they call it, versus like the legendary stuff that they're making is like side by side the fourth and fifth iteration of like their running series of Godzilla. Like there's literally like 3 breakdowns of the original like rubber suit eras. It's crazy.
I don't know. I'm not as confident in you guys. I think after Godzilla versus King Kong, that's a wrap for this. That's a wrap for this franchise. Even though I just remembered now, they did that weird post-credit scene at the end of Godzilla 2.
No, weird.
What was that? Wait. What was that teasing? Remember with the whole
Mecha, right? Mecha Godzilla.
Is that what they're teasing?
Mecha
Ghidorah
with
the head. Okay,
yeah.
so all right, let me
here we go.
Break it down.
Let me take out my pencil and notebook paper. Okay, let me write this down.
Interesting adaptation. Because I think this was the first in the 2019 film. It was the first time we ever see like, oh, what Ghidorah can grow his limbs back. That's fascinating. In Godzilla versus King Ghidorah, Ghidorah got real messed up to the point of like his center head was completely blown away and gone, and it was just like a corpse basically. It was like a broken down body shell. So what they did was I think they took old remnants. No, they didn't. No, they built up the monster because I think at the time Godzilla was still an opposing threat. He wasn't humanity's savior. He bounced back and forth. And they were like, we need a defense against that. Let's build up Ghidorah, but let's make a Mecha Ghidorah. And it's like, oh, snap. Here that goes. So that's what I think they were going to do. And what leads from that storyline, eventually, like when it gets broken down, they rebuild from that into Mecha Godzilla.
Okay. Wait,
look, it's not poetic cinema.
Robot Mecha Godzilla. Let's go.
So the ending of Godzilla 2 teased Mecha Ghidorah?
Mecha King Ghidorah. Yes.
Ghidorah.
Yes.
Okay. I thought it was the Mecha Godzilla thing. I forgot what a post-credit scene was now.
It would be like a stepping stone for sure.
So would that be a Godzilla 3? Or 3.5 if you don't include Godzilla versus King Kong?
Who's to say what they're doing?
Wait, I just don't think this movie is going to happen now. I think this is the last time we'll see a Godzilla vs. King Kong, at least for a couple of years.
I unfortunately do, and that sucks because I was like such an optimist and like in like my Marvel phase brain of being like, yes, we can get a standalone Mothra and Rodan film just like they did back then. Like
I thought so too. The concept is so intriguing, right? Like I was super excited to see King Kong, Skull Island. I thought the trailers were fantastic for these movies.
I was following Kong Skull Island news so much. Like I remember when part of the existing cast was J.K. Simmons and Michael Keaton, who are not in the film anymore.
No. They got Brie Larson, Tom Hiddleston, and
John Goodman.
John Goodman. I could see Jeff Bridges, but yeah, John Goodman
and Sam Jackson.
Sam Jackson was all over the place in that movie.
Oh,
his line deliveries were insane. Hold on to your butts, and yeah, it was just crazy.
Was it Toby Kebbell? Who?
Oh yeah, he is in that movie, right?
Yeah, which is I thought was cool. Yeah, he is.
People love him.
Yeah,
in that
he's
movie,
funny.
man.
I really like that they had Toby Kebbell because fresh off of playing Koba in Planet of the Apes, he like with Andy Serkis and Peter Jackson's Kong, which you don't have to tell me it's better. I already know. Is cool that he like not only had a role in Skull Island, but he also mocapped Kong for that film as well.
I'm not a huge fan of that film either.
Oh, it's so good.
I know, people,
I
a
think
lot of film fans love. I know Carson's gonna love it. Like, oh,
I hear so many people
understand
like
the artistry and the
I
boring.
hear so many people like, oh, the first hour is so boring. Just get to the island.
I love the first hour.
It
I
is
love
boring.
the filmmaking and
boring.
stuff.
It's
It's
boring.
RKO. That's a real.
I don't
Oh.
come to watch King Kong to watch New York City.
It is a
No,
3-hour
I am-
epic. You
I don't
need
care.
that build up. You
No,
need
even
that build
better.
up.
You can get an extended edition that's 3.5 hours, and I
Yes.
have it, and it's great.
Yeah, but you watch that all the time, right? It's really rewatchable.
This man
Get outta
went
here.
from making
Okay, I
one
don't
of the
watch
most
Lord of the Rings all the
acclaimed
time either, but
trilogies
we
of
praise
all
that.
time.
True, true.
A year later, makes another 3-hour epic masterpiece, back to back. How this amazing! I will defend that movie to the day I die.
Thank you.
That's gonna be a long time.
It's gonna be a long podcast relationship.
Dude, when he's on top of the tower and the Spitfire planes are coming down, cinema.
Ooh.
There's nothing like it.
Oh, you mean towards the end of the movie? Oh yeah, I love
Yeah.
that part. Sure, but the first act or two is
Now allow me to
News,
appraise Skull
uh,
Island.
The first act of that movie is better than all the characters combined from all the new ones. The new ones have horrible characters and
horrible.
I know
plot lines.
it is hard. I know. Look,
Nathan, if you were doing these movies, I think there's a good shell here of a concept of doing King Kong, Godzilla, doing these big monsters, but they just got to nail down the human storylines.
Yeah, I think it's tricky because like you have to balance between humans and the monsters.
Right.
But I think that's why we connect with the monsters more is because like we're always there for them. What I think their trouble is like they always get like a new set of characters instead of continuing them, which is why I was
Which is
actually
interesting because
Yeah,
Millie
because
Bobby
they-
Brown is back. For
yeah,
this.
like her yeah,
She
her
is?
her family stuff. Like there's new actors and stuff, but like yeah, her
Is her
storyline
dad
is,
coming
like-
back? The what's his name?
I think
Kyle
he's in-
Chandler.
Yeah, I think he's in.
I
the
think so.
cast.
I'm gonna look.
Oh, because he was so fascinating the first time. Wasn't his mother like a murderous psychopath in Godzilla 2? Like, wasn't she,
Genocide?
like, genocidal monster. Oh, that was so weird.
What?
I'm like,
She's like,
okay.
we gotta preserve what's left.
that made
I don't
no
even know.
sense to me. I
was-
tuned out after that.
Yeah, it was weird explanation to be like, just like I think Sarah Zahl was like a lot better at being like, yes, just let nature take its course. But like she was like, let's unleash them all.
I think it was funny that she made like hype reel too of like
Yes.
just like this is my plan. She got all this footage. I'm like, oh my god, she put a lot of thought into this.
The best PowerPoint you will ever see.
Yeah,
man.
for real.
It was so funny. I'm like, she has this whole family and stuff. Then she wants to kill tons of people. And then, of course, it's the one thing where she's like, oh, I didn't expect it to get this bad. Or I didn't expect it to get this far. I'm like,
You know what?
what did you expect?
You know what her PowerPoint reminded me of when like just like all the like force was taking over like all the lands was like I was taken back to like 2013 for the online marketing of After Earth.
Oh my god.
What?
Yeah, you could like go on their website and just like type in a location and then you could see like how it like looks like aged and like apocalyptic.
Is that the M. Night Shyamalan movie After?
Yeah, with Will and Jaden.
They have found you. I remember seeing that commercial all the time. Jesus.
Kyle
Kyle
But-
Chandler is back.
Oh, yay. He's one of the best actors of our generation.
And one
And
of
then
the
the new cast is
one of the
Julian
Skarsgård.
Dennison, Alexander Skarsgård, Jessica Henwick.
the main one.
Elsa
The popular
Rose,
stars.
I like
Rebecca
that.
Hall.
Jessica Henwick.
It's fun. It's like the popular Skarsgård before Bill Skarsgård became Pennywise.
I know,
And
right?
we also have a new director, right? Adam Wingard, who is also
Nope.
from Horror Roots.
Didn't he do Godzilla 2? Or King of the
No.
Monsters? Who did King of the Monsters?
What's his name? Nathan. What's his?
Oh,
director's
is
name?
it the Dougherty guy? Like something
Yeah, but
Dougherty?
this new
Dougherty?
director did VHS, Blair Witch, The Guest, You're Next, those kind of horror movies.
I've seen none of those. Michael
Honestly,
Dougherty, yeah.
honestly, at this point, I'm just like, get whoever you want to direct it. I just hope they bring Bear McCreary back for the soundtrack, because the way he like revitalized the old themes and he just have like ancient like chants and stuff. I'm like, oh my god, it's so good. Like, it's gorgeous. Best Oscar nom, give it.
Wow.
I mean, honestly, it is like really well done.
Yeah, I can concur.
If if they can't sell this movie though, like Nathan, like this is like the pinnacle of what these movies lead to, I feel like. And so it's like, if that alone isn't a selling point with some marketing and
do you guys think like the over like artistry of the King of the Monsters marketing hurt it with the general audience at all?
I don't think so. I think the marketing was really solid.
Well, yeah, we do, because we're all about like
it.
nuanced stuff. But like, I feel like all these like generic set trailers tend to do like.
It was just a lot of like showcasing, wasn't a lot of fighting, is what you're saying?
Maybe I feel like they like were like really like had like lingered set pieces of shots that like went on for a bit instead of like really fast cut, like getting the ampness of the.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, like they had showed the shot of like the butterfly Mothra opening up the wings, like boom. Next shot you see Godzilla rising up, and like nothing happening.
Swirl storm, but like really like slow movements of jets and like
I think it's a two things. I think it's. I was listening to that podcast I was talking to you guys about, the Universal movie executives talking of like, because of how there's movies coming out every single week, how a lot of these studios are opting to do less and less or shorter marketing campaigns, because people just aren't interested in gearing up for a movie a year in advance. And if I remember right, Godzilla's buzz was like, I feel like its biggest buzz was at that Comic-Con drop, that big trailer, and then it was just a year of trailers. You know what I mean? It wasn't. Yeah, I feel like it might have had a bigger ramp up if it was like 3 months before. And so they were kind of saying that like there's probably, especially in 2021, there's going to be a lot of like shorter marketing campaigns to build buzz versus like dropping like 9 to 11 months in advance like Star Wars does sometimes.
Your move, Spider-Man.
Right. So we'll see.
Yeah. It's very curious to look at the effect of Comic-Con trailers. So I think most of the Comic-Con trailers, if you're not DC or Marvel and you drop your movie at Comic-Con, it doesn't matter. It doesn't move the needle in terms of getting people excited, because the people at Comic-Con or paying attention to what Comic-Con even is are already going to see the movie. Yeah, they're attracting a larger audience.
And that was weird too. I feel like it was weird that WB dropped like so much of like stuff that wasn't coming out. I think like the closest at the time was like Aquaman that following December. But then they're like Godzilla, Shazam, Fantastic Beasts. I think like all these things that were like way next year.
I think, or
It Chapter 2. I'm pretty sure. Just like all these different medias. It was like, you have almost a full year for most of these. Why are you so soon? I know you have it, but like. Wow.
Yeah, and exactly. You're not a comic book movie. You don't have those built-in box office numbers. Like, you shouldn't be risking your early marketing spending money on just Comic-Con. That's not how it should work out. But we'll see. But going back to the whole HBOMAX of it all, I'm still curious to see if they actually do it. It's coming out right now, looking at the schedule, 2 weeks after Black Widow. That's not a great sign, even without the COVID. Even with the COVID. So we'll see how it does. But I think it could just do the whole, it'll be in theaters, then do HBO Max like a month later, like a shortened theatrical window, rather than dropping at the same time. I could be completely wrong there, but yeah, I don't see. I can see WB dropping movies like. There's another article where they're doing maybe Tom and Jerry or maybe some other low-key movies, but Godzilla just seems too massive right now to drop on HBO Max.
I saw like one of the reports for like WB was just like there was rumor that like the Mortal Kombat film could go to HBO Max, but then I think it was like solidified like they just moved the theatrical window, and I'm over here like, so you're going to put your effort into Mortal Kombat, but I can't have Godzilla versus Kong.
Yeah, that's a mistake.
And I just looked too. It's sandwiched between Black Widow and F9 comes out a week after Godzilla. So
Jesus,
it's kind of
move it. I don't care.
You gotta go.
I've waited this long. You move. Everything is so stacked. Like in these coming years.
That's ridiculous. ridiculous.
I hate how everything has become so stacked. How I've said so many times how everything from the jump should have just moved over 1 year.
Yeah.
So we could have just figured it out. But no, everything's like somebody shuffled the cards, and now I don't know the semblance. I can't count these cards anymore. It's too much.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm gonna lose.
And that's what
all
movie
my
theaters
chips.
are saying too, because everyone, as the same podcast, they're talking about like how the loss of like a concrete slate. Basically, you can't just rely on one movie to bring people back. It has to be a mix of things, and so it's a betrayal for all the movie studios to say, okay, bye, and then to leave like Tenet in the wake side, or they all just needed to go, like we all said in the first place. But man, I hope it's for the best, whatever the solution is. Maybe it's like Evan said. I know in the UK, like Wonder Woman 84, so they don't have HBO Max there. It's getting in theaters for a month, and then they're going to allow people to buy it on VOD. So maybe it's something like that where
they're also starting to get like some rollouts for the vaccine in the UK. So hopefully,
which is the first country to approve it. So maybe it goes quicker than we expect.
This is going to be so fascinating to see because it seems like the past couple of months we're always saying like, oh, this is going to be the litmus test. Mulan's going to be the litmus test. And Mulan didn't really give us anything to really gauge at because they're making Soul free and they're not even doing the PVOD on Disney Plus anymore. So we don't really know what happened besides like it probably didn't make that much money. And then people were looking at Tenet like, oh, that was going to change something. And it never really did. So now we're looking towards Wonder Woman, see what that does either on VOD, on HBO Max sales. HBO Max is still like towards the bottom of subscription services, even though I think it's great. Yeah. Please go on the PS5, HBO Max.
Jesus. Please. And even then, we won't know. I feel like with streaming launches, the statistics are going to be more and more vague. It's not going to be like box office results where we can directly look at it and be like, okay, this is what it means. Because Netflix, we already know Netflix's data is trash. They're like, okay, you watch the first 2 minutes, biggest launch of all time. Like, okay, Netflix.
Every new thing is the biggest launch. I love Queen's Gambit, but biggest launch ever. I'm like, okay, maybe. I mean, I love Anya Taylor-Joy. I'll accept it.
Yeah.
But then it's like, Holmes, biggest thing ever. Old Guard, biggest thing ever.
Extraction, biggest Netflix on.
I think Hulu had that recently for like, what was it, Run?
For Run, and then a week later, Happiest Season comes out, and it's like, now this is the biggest thing. I'm like, what? How are we doing this? Like, I don't know. I watched both, by the way.
Okay.
So yeah, it's very interesting. I'm just very curious to see what movie is going to be the one to get a lot of people back because I'm excited for Raya and the Last Dragon. That's coming out March 12th. It's not a blockbuster, but it's a Pixar movie that's not streaming, unlike Soul. So
I think it's just Disney Animation, not Pixar.
Oh, okay, yeah, Disney Animation. Ghostbusters Afterlife, The King's Man, which is also rumored to also possibly go to streaming. I saw an article saying that Disney or Fox, whatever, might put that on Hulu. It's possible because they don't want to be the first movie out in the gate. Because that's February 12th.
That's February 12th.
I really like. I really like the Kingsman franchise, but I don't think I'd be as hurt to like have to experience that in home.
It seems like a movie supposed to come out 3 years ago, right? Like the trailer for that movie came out,
and it's already like
it's
already also like a prequel spin-off esque thing as well. So it's a new ground anyway.
And I was more excited for this than Kingsman 3 because Kingsman 2 is hot trash.
But Pedro,
it's fun.
Oh, he is in the
Kingsman 2
movie.
is fun.
Yeah,
I don't understand why people have such a show for that movie. Why do people hate that movie so much? It's wacky.
He sticks a device up this girl's butthole. I'm like, this movie is stupid. Get me out of here.
Wait a minute.
Don't monetize me now.
That happened, Carson. That happened.
I don't see any other blockbusters doing that where they go there in all full out song and this man steps on a landmine and goes out in full song as Elton John is running around in a costume, going crazy with robot dogs chewing at his feet. Nothing does that. I'm sorry. I give it props for that.
Listen. I have some unsettling issues at times with Kingsman: The Golden Circle. It can be weird at times for sure.
Garbage is fine. Yeah.
I love seeing Taron and Elton work together pre-Rocket Man.
I bring in Rocket Man.
Yeah, which I watched pass for my birthday, so that'll be my review this evening. But
she put somebody through a meat grinder. Stupid. What did Scooby do? Get out of here.
What Scooby-Doo have you seen that has cannibalism?
Scooby-Doo. It had the campiness of a Scooby-Doo thing, like from 2002. I'm like, this
It's
just
like a spy movie, man.
But like it leans
Oh,
into the
man.
camp because it's
Don't-
the opposite of what
lean
James Bond
back.
is. It's
Lean back.
Lean
Like,
back.
I don't.
You don't like the
want to lean
electric
into it.
lasso? You don't like that?
No.
Electric lasso? Dude,
I don't.
He
It
comes
looked
from
cool
an
in the
app.
trailer, and then I saw that. I'm like, okay, they're doing the slow mo thing a bit too much here. I'm good.
Okay, okay. I do feel like at some points they were just like trying to top themselves at sequences, but I still had fun. I enjoyed the characters a lot. I love.
Did
Eggsy.
you?
I love Eggsy.
He's great. Oh, they killed off the best girl from the first movie for no reason. Remember, like the first 10 minutes,
The
they killed her
Lancelot.
off. I'm like,
Yeah,
I remember my dad, my brother,
they
and I
killed
were like,
Dumbledore. Like,
we're like, okay, she's gonna come back, right? She was great in the first movie. She's gonna come back, right? And she
Yeah.
never did. And that was weird.
you can't tell me you don't like Channing Tatum's wacky drugged out dance.
Okay, that was pretty funny. Channing,
Which was, I think, wasn't that also like it ends like kind of like they're setting up a spin-off for an American version that he or like Channing Tatum in the Kingsman era in England. But
yeah. So yeah, HBO Max is doing their thing, trying to get a lot of subscriptions to their service. I think is very commendable.
that's what we're talking about. That's right.
Yeah, I'm just going to try to go back. Trying to see if I'm missing anything. Oh, also, we can discuss Disney Plus is trying to kind of doing the similar thing in terms of deciding what films to put in theatrical and what films to do in streaming. Because there's rumors that Disney Plus is going to put in Pinocchio, Cruella, in the upcoming Pan movie on Disney Plus instead of theatrical. Now, I put this in my notes, like, is that really a big deal? Because aside from Cruella, because I'm Emma Stone stan, I love Emma Stone to death.
Emma Stan.
Emma Stan. Oh, that's a good one. Good one.
At Emma Stan, follow.
Yeah, please follow me. I'm changing my after this podcast. Cruella, I was going to see that in theaters because I'm a huge Emma Stone fan. But Pinocchio and Pan, I'm like, how many reiterations of that has Disney done or any other company has done for the longest time? So I wouldn't be surprised if those go to streaming. I wouldn't be upset about it either. Those didn't look like big money makers in a theatrical setting anyways. So I'm cool with that. Like, the only thing I'm upset about is when a good prospect like Soul goes to streaming. I think Soul would have been a huge money maker. But something like Pinocchio or Pan, I think, wouldn't really matter.
I just want to go back to a theater, sit around random strangers and cry in silence. So can I have that back?
Yeah, I know. Carson, did you hear that in terms of like Disney Plus having like Pan, Cruella, and Pinocchio possibly go to streaming rather than theatrical? I felt like that wasn't a big deal to me because those movies didn't look like big money makers.
Yeah, it felt kind of like it feels like the direct-to-DVD version of the live-action remakes. It doesn't feel like a big event as
exactly.
Lion King.
Kind of like, yeah, it's more like the Lady and the Tramp-esque, I guess.
Yes, exactly. That's a good comparison.
Lady and the Tramp. They did that with one and only Ivan, I think. Was that in Disney Plus too?
I don't even remember that.
Is that even come out yet, or am I making that up?
I don't remember seeing anything.
I'll making that up.
Give me a second.
Okay, cool.
Honestly, in this, I think I would put the same instance of like they were marketing and they theatrically produced Pete's Dragon, but I feel like that
I might be thinking of Pete's Dragon instead. Yeah,
which
that was in theaters too, right?
Yeah, and I heard it was good, but like nobody talked about it. Nobody really talked about it, and it was gone so fast.
I heard it was fine. Yeah, I mean it was pretty basic to me. That's why I didn't go see it. But people watched it.
Small town with a dragon.
Yeah.
But...
Isn't Carl Urban in that?
Someone, yeah. I'm gonna look up the cast actually.
Yeah, I think Carl Urban and Jessica Chastain are between Jessica Chastain and Bryce Dallas Howard. I get them confused all the time. One of them's in that movie. One of the redheads. So that'd be interesting to see.
That came out in 2016, really?
Jeez, time flies. 2016 was a great year for movie, guys.
Right.
Just a quick tangent.
It was Carl Urban and Bryce Dallas Howard.
Bryce Dallas Howard. I knew it was one of them. Yeah.
Wes Bentley was in it. What the hell?
Wow.
All right. Robert Redford. Wow. My God.
So yeah, the movie landscape is interesting, especially as vaccines are coming in. I'm very curious to see how theaters and streamings, because right now people have assumed like streaming is king of the world, but people keep forgetting theaters make a lot of money. 2019 was a big year for movies,
It was
especially Disney.
both
Oh,
and horror too on the lower
and
side
horror.
of things.
Yeah,
didn't Disney alone make like 10 billion?
yeah, it was insane.
Box office, yeah.
Because I remember arguing like they could have delayed Rise of Skywalker because they still would have beat their previous record, even without Rise of Skywalker coming out in December.
Yeah.
Because Frozen 2 made like $1 billion. So
Yeah, it crossed a
Minus the
billion.
jillion.
It made
it
a
was
billion
like 1.6 billion.
Yeah.
Not only that, it made that much, but like a month before Rise of Skywalker came out, which also made $1 billion. Like they were back to back. Even and like, yeah, we had like poor reception for Lion King, still made $1 billion.
Oh yeah, that movie made $1.7 billion or 6 or something.
Yeah.
That's insane.
I have a question for you guys since we're kind of on the topic.
Ooh.
What will be the first movie back to cross 100 million plus domestically? Because I don't think Wonder Woman will do that even cumulatively. Well,
Are you talking just
No,
like
I don't
opening
think
weekend,
so.
or you're talking
No,
domestic
just
public?
Cumulatively.
just
Okay.
because Tenet only did I think like 50 million total out of all of its whole run
Okay.
domestically.
I gotta go
but
with
Probably
No Time to Die.
No Time to
What do you
Die.
think?
You think?
I might say A Quiet Place. If it can get, I mean, and it's like full window, I guess. But
Bond
Right.
comes out beforehand. That's why I'm giving the edge to Bond.
oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't hear that earlier. So yeah, probably
Um,
Bond. What is anything
So
coming out
Bond
before
is
Bond?
Before Bond, some of the biggest movies we have are The Kingsman, Tom and Jerry, Raya and the Last Dragon, Morbius,
the Boss Baby.
Boss Baby 2.
Okay, well, I don't know, because I would say No Time to Die, but at the same time, I feel like a similar James Bond feel is what Tenet had. So,
Ooh, good point.
what is after Tenet, or not Tenet? What's after No Time to Die and Quiet Place?
Last Night in Soho. That's not gonna make money though.
It would be Black Widow.
Black
and-
Widow for sure.
It's probably going to be Black Widow then.
You think
Yeah.
so? All the way in May. Do you have to wait till May for something to break 100 million? That's gonna be
It could
fascinating.
be. Which, of
I mean,
course, then Marvel
where's
comes
Dune?
to save the box office. Blah 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 blah.
Oh God, yeah.
Could
Marvel
well, I
stands
mean,
are gonna love that.
I mean, if you guys want to talk Marvel and streaming, we got a little
Yeah, we have a couple Marvel news to discuss today.
official casting announcement that everybody called so long ago.
I am in Hawkeye. Yeah, I'm excited to say that I am in Hawkeye. Yeah.
Yeah, the news first broke when Evan's mom reported in the deadline.
You're getting a black Hawkeye, guys. Let's go. I'm gonna miss every arrow shot because I can't name.
Black eye.
Black eye, black eye.
Hell yeah, dude! I'd watch Black Eye. Hell yeah!
It sounds like a hero name from The Boys or something.
Oh my god.
I'm down. They
Who
had
was the
an
arrow
outro-
guy from The Boys? Yeah, what was his name?
I'm trying to remember.
Oh, dang it.
That
I think
that's like the
Carson, you
equivalent line of like it's like the equivalent line of in Tenet when John David Washington goes, "I ordered my hot sauce an hour ago," and then just rips the guy's face off with a cheese grater.
Amazing.
Carson, you still have to watch season 2, right?
I do. I need to watch season 2 of The Boys, so don't spoil.
There's
it
an
for me.
Archer guy in that season.
I think it's better
Yeah.
than the first to me.
I think so too.
Because I feel like a lot of the first one was just kind of like they had a coherent story, but it was just like it's like a lot of like gruesome stuff going on, and there's still gruesome stuff in season
Right.
2. I'm more like enamored by it. Like I'm
There's better character work in season 2 as well. I
for
think
sure
you can see
think there's
character relationships and
better
character depth.
development.
Yeah, exactly.
I was the most impressed with like Homelander and everybody.
Definitely. He's
this
just
season.
Homelander is such an interesting thing. So.
such a great actor. Yeah.
Yeah.
What were we talking about? Oh, Hawkeye. Yeah, Hawkeye series.
Yes.
Um,
Hey,
the casting
Haley
that's been going
Steinfeld.
on for a damn year. I swear.
I
We're
know.
like, okay, Haley Steinfeld, yay! Like, oh, she's not.
They're just like,
confirmed yet?
oh, she's
Wait.
not confirmed. Yeah.
Yeah. So now
I said it
yeah,
yesterday. I'm like,
and now there was a set video filming like somewhere around the subway. Both Jeremy Renner, Haley Steinfeld, and a dog, presumably the dog Lucky from the Hawkeye comics, all together. So that's gonna be fun because everybody like I need to properly read them, but like everybody praises the characterization of Hawkeye in the comics.
People praise that characterization of Hawkeye, and they praise Kate Bishop. And I'm yet to read it. Like I'm like Carson. I have on Comixology. I have downloaded the all the volumes of that series. I've just never had time to read it because I'm always reading Star Wars. But I will read it eventually. I'm surprised. Real quick, they're calling this the Hawkeye series. Why isn't the Kate Bishop series? Like they have.
It's like a mantle, I guess.
I don't know.
I
Hawkeye.
was watching like the set video and I'm looking at Jeremy Renner, and it's kind of funny because he almost looks out of shape from like an angle seeing him, and I was
like tired. Yeah,
this man's just. I wonder if they'll just pull like a retirement storyline or something because like he already like tried retiring before, and he already like mass murdered Mafia in Endgame, so he's probably just like, I just want to be with my family, damn it. And I presumably as well, this is like pretty ahead in the timeline, given like how young his children were in Endgame. So
right,
I'm very excited.
Right. It's gotta be a retirement story. I think. I think that's probably what I want out of the show the most is like passing of the mantle.
I want to get the Young Avengers going on having Haley Steinfeld Hawkeye. That already an upgrade from OG Hawkeye. But
we've gotten that tease of Young Avengers with the whole Wicket and Speed from the WandaVision rumors and theories going off of that. Spider-Man, yeah, I could join in that. Kamala Khan, exactly. So there's momentum for Young Avengers. I think Kevin Feige definitely has that in the Phase 5 plans. So yeah, I'm very curious to see though how they, how should I say this? Like how they get Kate Bishop to be like a fan of Hawkeye. Is she a fan of Hawkeye? I could be completely wrong, or she's just very good with bow and arrows, and then Hawkeye realizes that and then like takes her in.
I
don't read the comic books. I have no idea.
Am I misremembering? Is Kate Bishop not his daughter?
No. Yeah, she's not related to him at all.
Okay. Oops. But
I don't think so. No. I can remember people theorized when they saw that scene in Endgame, like, oh, is she going to be the new Hawkeye person when he's teaching her to use a bow and arrow? And it's like, no, it's just a scene. So yeah, I'm very curious to see like what happens because maybe she has a certain what's it called? Reaction experience with the snap. Maybe that like instigates her into a life of hero person.
So yeah, we'll get that origin right from her end, right?
Maybe it'll be like a cool Robin Hood storyline or something. Maybe it's like something like that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited for this. I think they've both done a lot and not a lot with Hawkeye. They've done a lot in terms of like reading into it because he had a family. This family like disappeared. Like thematically, that's a lot to deal with. But actually, we haven't seen a lot of screen time.
It was funny going through like the MCU when like everybody was like got out of the first Avengers film and there was like, oh, everyone's cool, but who cares about Hawkeye? And then like the writers were just like, oh yeah, Avengers 2, we're going to his house.
Yeah, it's like.
But then like he does become like a through line in a sense, like through Civil War and then to the Endgame as well. It's great.
Yeah, he got a good like cheer. I remember seeing Civil War for the first time. People cheered when he came in to rescue Wanda.
All of the Infinity War marketing, so many people were asking not only where was Loki, but also where was Hawkeye.
Yeah, they're like, "Where's Hawkeye? Where's Han? What's going on here?" No, I'm kidding.
Han. Justice is coming.
Yeah, where's Hawkeye? And then the Ronin thing, people were super excited about that. So, and there's rumors he might be donning the Ronin outfit still in Hawkeye. So that's gonna be curious
and Hawkeye
to see.
Side by side. That'd be cool.
Like, what's going to be Kate Bishop's response to that?
What's that scene that Nathan was talking about in Endgame when he just like destroys everybody?
Oh, dude, that's a great scene. It's one shot.
Yeah. That main guy that he fights is going to be in Bullet Train. Yeah, he's going to be in Bullet.
He's already a big star.
I know, yeah, he's a huge star. But I'm just like, how is Bullet Train getting like everybody from every continent? And I'm like, I'm so here for it. So
that's one long train. Yeah,
that's one long train. You're right.
I think it's also wild that like they only got him for like that one like minute scene for Endgame, but like the dude is so much under his belt in his career.
He's a well-established actor. Yeah,
good martial arts.
Didn't we only get Robert Redford for like that one
for Endgame? Yeah, but he was all throughout Winter Soldier.
He's in Endgame.
Yeah, true.
Yeah,
Just when
Tony
they go
bumps
back
into him,
in.
and they're like, who gets the Tesseract? They're like playing like,
Oh wow!
and then that's when it drops, and then Loki gets the Tesseract, and he's gonna be in an alternate universe and not in Thor 4. So
Wow! talk about 6 degrees of separation. That was very.
you brought it up in the intro. We had to bring it in somehow.
Wow, okay, yeah.
All
You're
roads
wrong,
lead.
but okay, cool. I cannot wait to do this podcast 2 years from now. So Nathan, I was wrong, and yeah, I can't wait to hear Nathan say
I'll be like, see, flashback at most.
that. So yeah, Hawkeye, Kate Bishop, Haley Steinfeld's fantastic. She hasn't been doing much, so I'm very excited to see her back in the
She did that-
limelight.
Didn't the last thing she do was the Apple TV?
Dickinson,
Yeah.
which I haven't
got
watched
renewed
because
for
season
season
2
2,
or
didn't
3.
it?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Like I haven't watched it because I never had access to it, but now that's on the PS5 and not HBO Max, I'm gonna be able to watch it now. So I might just turn that on because I'm a huge fan of hers. There was a list of people like who might get an Oscar in the decade 2020, in the 2020s. I'm like Saoirse Ronan, but don't put it past Haley Steinfeld. She got her first limelight in True Grit, and she was nominated for Best Supporting Actor that year.
2010, which is crazy. I'm just looking
2010.
this up now.
And I loved her in that. I love True Grit, the remake. I love both versions. And that's when I first
need to watch.
recognized her. So she's really good in it, dude. Yeah. She's like, I think we're the same age, me and Haley Steinfeld.
Isn't it
Yeah.
weird? Like now that like we've followed the film industry for so long that now we're starting to be like the same age as like actors we respect.
Yeah, I'm the same age as like Haley Steinfeld. I think Saoirse Ronan is 24 too. I'm not sure how old she is. But there's a couple of 24-year-old actors and actresses. I'm like, oh wow, cool.
I think Zendaya is like maybe a year older than me. Like I was like, what the hell? She has like
Yeah,
an
it really
Emmy.
puts it puts into my perspective of like, wait, okay, I probably should like do something with my life now. Like,
Yeah, Zendaya's 24 too. That's crazy.
Literally.
Yeah, I know.
I feel real great. Thanks, Tom. Like,
Emmy winner Zendaya. Thanks, Zendaya. Gosh, how dare you?
which was funny because I remember watching her like back on Disney Channel, thinking like she was like at least a few years older than me. I was like,
Right.
huh.
Yeah. I never did see her on Disney Channel. I think I left Disney Channel before that time.
Shake it
Yeah,
up. or
Disney
whatever it's
Plus.
called.
Yeah, shake it up. Yeah.
Never watched it.
Frenemies.
I left after Sweet Life on Deck. That was my like last Disney show.
That's fair.
Probably
we
the
all have
best.
we all have a designated time period we live.
Exactly.
No one stays forever.
Exactly.
It's the next
Um,
generation.
Speaking about some other Marvel news, though, speaking of things that we thought like are going to happen, but we just haven't heard any confirmation. Deadpool 3 is moving forward with some new writers. The writers, the Molina sisters, from Bob's Burgers. They're going to help write Deadpool 3, and of course, every freaking article out there saying it's like, is this going to be rated R? What's going to happen? It's like, we've had this discussion ever since the whole Fox Disney buyout thing. This thing is guaranteed 1,000,000,000,000,000,000% to be rated R. There's no doubt in my mind.
I would also like to point out to everybody listening who follows Deadpool news, don't ever listen to Rob Liefeld, who is such insane man. Like it's like he always praises himself. Oh wow. He always prides himself as like the creator of Deadpool, but it's like a Bob Kane, Bill Finger thing where it's like all the stuff we love about Deadpool, not from him. It's not. And he's always like so like I think like recently he was like, oh yes, very exciting about like the MCU stuff coming. Whereas like a couple weeks back he was just like, Disney's trashing on it, nothing's gonna come.
Yeah, I remember that. We were like, okay, what is this? Some Jekyll and Hyde stuff going on? Like, what are you thinking here, dude?
Literally. It's insane.
And I guarantee you the movie will come out and be like, oh, in my comic, and be like, no, that wasn't it.
I'm pretty sure they took him. I'm pretty sure they already like took him off the existing project as well, and maybe he's trying to get good graces again. But
I think they definitely did. Yeah,
we don't need him.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. It's been a long time coming.
It's funny in regards to like every time I hear Deadpool stuff, I think like any like novelty of like Deadpool when it was starting up like has worn off from me. Like I don't hate Deadpool. I really enjoy the films. But I don't have like that sense of hype anymore where I'm just like, yes, the Ryan Renaissance upon us.
I'm the same way with you, Nathan. I like the Deadpool one a lot. I just don't revisit those movies that much. I think they're fine. I
Yeah.
think they're really fun.
I was in a weird instance where I was like I enjoyed Deadpool 1. I actually enjoyed Deadpool 2 more from the
Yeah, I remember you said that. Yeah, I totally disagree. But but yeah, they're fine. They're fun movies. I remember seeing them in theaters. I mean, I like seeing them in theaters. It's just that they don't have that much replay value to me.
Sure. That's fair. Because like I think that tends to be like most comedies anyway. I mean, not like some of the great ones like really stick where like every time you're gonna laugh, but like
Tropic Thunder.
There you go.
The best.
I mean, every time I will laugh at the Lego Movie, I will not stop. But
the Lego Movie has infinite rewatchability.
Yeah, it's just like a lot of jokes can get like really dense with continuation.
Yeah, and Arrival is a hilarious movie.
Oh, absolutely. Oh my God, the ending,
comedy,
side burst, knee slapper, indeed.
Yeah.
Saw it 5 more times. Smile on my face every time. If you have a smile on your face every time you watch Arrival, like back to back 3 times, you're gonna like, yeah. If you're not getting hints of depression.
Yeah.
I forgot about that Marvel news. So that I guess that shows. But like I am excited for sure though. I'm excited to see how like we're gonna get the playoff for like existing MCU because it's gonna happen. I think especially since we're diving into multiverse stuff. I think it would like be the best if like Deadpool kind of like falls through into our universe. That way he can like maintain his fourth wall breaks and everything. He still would anyway. He literally says Winter Soldier in Deadpool 2. Like so.
Yeah. I think they're gonna do whatever they want in Deadpool. So I think I'd rather have it that way than it take itself seriously and try to like be like, okay, we gotta blend the timeline.
He's already universe hopping in the end credit scene for Deadpool 2. He kills himself.
Right.
He kills Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, I just can't wait to see how many Disney Feige jokes he has up his sleeve. Like, there's so many potential there, so much potential. Oh man,
that's gonna be great.
Well, anything else? I can't remember what.
I forgot to mention. There's a rumor yesterday, so it's a recent rumor. I don't know if it's true or not. But that Florence Pugh's Yelena Belova could be in the Hawkeye series.
Okay,
and in Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Nathan called it. No, he didn't call it, but he said, "I want to see this character more."
Oh, I was all about the. And I'm not like I'm not making an exhausting noise like I hate this. I love this. I wanted.
Me too.
I wanted like a new Black Widow mantle to continue. Maybe also again Young Avengers because she's. I think Florence is close to our age as well. It's insane. But
I think she's 24 or something like that. Let me double check.
Yeah, but yeah, why I was sounding so tired is because like Black Widow has been pushed so far so many times, and I feel like we've just been hanging on to like, and like they keep dropping like random like cliff notes of the movie itself, and I'm just like, let me see it.
That trailer.
At this point, it feels like it's 2 years too late, and I hate to say that, but you know, it was already a movie that we. It was already something we felt that should happen, like phase 1 or phase 2,
and then they Marvel like
right. And so I don't know how I feel.
I'm glad she was able to like continue like co-starring roles in like not just an Iron Man movie, but a Captain America movie and like throughout Civil War and stuff. Like that's.
I think
cool.
she was great in Civil War.
Oh, absolutely. I think she was used like great, and her story is going to be stemming off from in between there for Black Widow.
It's so funny, this movie. I'm not really excited to see it, but I'm excited to see Yelena Belova. I think that's like the most intriguing part about this entire movie because I'm a huge Florence Pugh stan.
You remember that bad theory that came out where people are like, what if it's the same Natasha, but like they like swap faces, like face off, and then like Yelena, the one that died in Endgame.
Oh wow. I do remember hearing that now. Yeah. Yikes.
So they'll have Florence but still Natasha. That's I don't like it at all. I don't want that. I think it cheapens the death, and like would it even still register as counting for Hawkeye's sacrifice? I don't know.
Also, people thought Yelena is going to die because Black Widow's wearing like a similar jacket in like Endgame or something.
Well, like in her honor.
We've been watching this trailer too long.
It's ridiculous.
Again, you can look up my super trailer that I uploaded where I was because. That's all we got if we've had for like a year.
But just envision a team up between Haley Steinfeld and Florence Pugh as Kate Bishop and Yelena Belova. Oh my god!
Hell
Be
yeah.
amazing.
Honestly,
Give me that
I-
series.
hell, and also like it was just throwing in more of the Young Avengers, get Kamala Khan in there, just like everybody. Like,
Yeah.
hell yeah.
Oh, we never did talk about those Kamala Khan set photos, by the way.
Oh yeah,
It's not much, but it's like the
she was-
Halloween thing.
Yeah, dressed up as Carol Danvers.
Mm-hmm.
Continuing
It's really cool, I
the
thought.
wonderful trend of,
Yes.
Marvel shows dressing up as Halloween costumes as they go on their journeys of becoming
Easter
different
eggs.
iterations of things.
Yeah.
WandaVision is so.
If I don't
close.
see Spider-Man 3 where Peter is without his costume and he has to grab a dollar store Spider-Man costume.
I need
It
it.
was all for nothing.
And then they have to make it a playable in the PlayStation game, and everyone will just be adding the developers on Twitter, and they're like, "Finally, we added dollar store."
Make this outfit,
Spider-Man
please.
Hell yeah. Oh yeah, the dollar store costume. Oh man. I have been playing like a lot with the Amazing Spider-Man suits. That's been fun.
Nice.
Yeah, Miles Morales, I think, has way better outfits than the PS4 Spider-Man.
Oh, the
outfits.
2099 suit, superior.
So good. I found that, and I'm like, I'm just gonna wear this the entire game, and I ended up doing that.
The eyes missed.
So cool. I love it.
It's so.
Haha, I don't have a PS5. I can't get it.
Hey.
I'm kidding. I can get it for the PS4, but that would be
Carson.
counterproductive.
Carson, me either. But also
you made the right
keep in
decision.
mind, look, you may not have a PS5, but you have PS5 money, and you're already better than me in that sense. So
Wow.
where this
I'm hit
podcast
with the
go.
feels. Now I don't know what to say.
Humble yourself. But yeah. I don't know if there was like too much more bigger news to talk. I do want to like leave review space for everybody.
Yeah, let's talk about some reviews. There's not anything big in terms of other movie news. There's a Van Helsing movie in development with the guy from Overlord.
Oh well, I could go into that for my love of Universal Monsters.
Oh yeah, I mean talk about that real quick. We have time.
Because hell, that could be like because I really think Van Helsing could be like the stepping stone to the different worlds. I mean, hell, Van Helsing versus
that's a good
Van
idea.
Helsing. Van Helsing versus Ryan Gosling's Wolfman. Hell yeah! Like,
I'm here for it.
yeah. Invisible Woman. I know it's supposed to be a different iteration, but like, please bring back our Invisible Woman from earlier this year. Stuff like that.
There's room for that. Yeah.
I would love to see like a new iteration of Dracula. Because I think the last one was Dracula Untold with Luke Evans, which was more superpower based in that time period. But which I still
needs to make
enjoyed.
a good Dracula movie.
Oh my god, give me lean all into that gothic horror. It's gorgeous.
Yes,
I think
please.
I haven't properly watched, but I think probably like in the same like tone as Crimson Peak that Guillermo did, but like make it the Dracula storyline.
That's what I was just gonna say.
Good, 1990s Dracula movie. Wasn't there one that came out?
Yeah, Francis Ford Coppola made it with Gary Oldman and Keanu Reeves.
I like that one. Yeah,
Winona Ryder. Yeah,
it's been like 30 years, so we haven't had anything good
Patrick
in a while.
Williams' segment on it is hilarious. About
Yeah.
like nobody knows this existed. What happened?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
what?
But yeah, I'm excited for a Van Helsing movie. I think Julius Avery is a great director. I just had to pull out my Overlord Blu-ray.
Nice.
Hey,
So,
I have
I
it on
love
digital,
this movie
but
so
yeah.
much. It's so
Overlord
great.
was fun as hell.
It's super fun. I remember going to the theater. My brother's like, "Are you sure it's not gonna be too like horror?" I'm like, "I don't think so. I think it's like an action thriller with zombies." We watched it. We had a blast.
Any movie that starts its title in the same like font style as its time period it's being made in,
Incredible.
I love the opening.
Cinema.
Overlord's opening is so cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm so random, where I'm like, I'll watch like the actors I'm seeing, and like they have like their sergeant. I'm like, Shocker from Homecoming. Like, also Fitz from Shield is in it. Like,
oh yes, he is. Yeah.
Also, I'm pretty sure
Integral.
J.J. Abrams produced it. I could be completely
yeah,
wrong.
he did.
Yep. Bad Robot produces a lot of stuff.
It was pre-Tross. We were all like, hell yeah.
Moon. Oh my god.
Oh, wonderful.
That's cool. Good cameo from Moon.
This is how they shot. This is how they shot the rubber suits for the Godzilla most of the time from the low angles.
Nice job, Nathan.
Yeah.
So yeah, Van
Godzilla.
Helsing seems really cool. I love what the what company is this? Universal and Blumhouse.
Yeah.
doing these
Yep.
horror
Great combo.
focused Invisible Woman. Oh, we're still getting that what's it called with Ryan Gosling? What's he doing?
Wolfman.
Wolfman. Yeah,
With,
I'm super
Oh yeah,
excited.
boy,
your headphones
it's-
fell off when I brought it up. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Lee
Winnell.
Lee
Well, no.
I tried
Winnell.
so hard.
Great job.
And it
Great
was so
job.
much easier.
Wingard. Winnell.
Wingardium Leviosa. Oh, I hope someone calls him that.
It's Linnell, not.
Oh man.
Winnell. Cool.
But Universal
I'm
is
a-
killing it. Like this
They
new
are.
grounded approach to this, I'm here for it. I hope they're all as good as Invisible Man. I think they have a potential to be. So
Yeah, because
I think
they
so.
because everything before has been so weird. They were like, the Mummy was so odd in
God.
the way they were they Easter egg the hell. Ah! They Easter egg the hell out of it with having Russell
So
Crowe as.
stupid.
Why would you have Dr. Jekyll be your Nick Fury? I don't know.
genuinely one of the worst movies I ever watched in my entire life.
Whoa!
pretty bogus
Wow!
look.
Wow!
But at the same time,
Not that bad.
It's
I'm
bad.
over there.
Oh,
It's
but
very
you've been
bad.
going in circle with cinema.
Dude, it sucks because I was so hyped for the Dark Universe. Like, the movie wasn't great, but I was looking at the Easter eggs like, oh my god, it's a vampire skull. There's the creature from the Black Lagoon's hand, which I also would love for them to do. Creature of the Black Lagoon. Give it to Guillermo. He already made it with Shape of Water.
I mean, that's just waiting to be adapted. Give it like a year
So
or two.
I
That's
bet
what
it's already in
happens.
the works. I don't
It has to
know.
be, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on.
And again,
Um,
after seeing Shape of Water, I know you can do it.
I love that movie so much.
It's so good. So I would love to have stuff like that. But yeah, before did you guys ever see I, Frankenstein with Aaron Eckhart
No.
as a sexy Frankenstein monster?
Yeah, that kind of. I tuned out of that.
What's it
Yeah.
called?
I Frankenstein.
I, Frankenstein.
You never heard of it, Carson?
Like
No.
iRobot, but not as fun. I think it was like 2010. I remember, I was seeing marketing
2010
for-
is that long ago?
2014.
Yeah, I'm about to
2014.
say. Yeah, I said 2010. Jeez.
It feels like it was that. I mean, it wasn't until like Aaron Eckhart kind of dropped off the map until he randomly popped up in Midway, but
Right.
I didn't know he was in Midway.
he's in Midway for a
I never
bit.
seen Midway. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, it was during that time they're doing a lot of like weird Frankenstein stuff. Because didn't they do that Daniel Radcliffe and James McAvoy Frankenstein thing? Or
Yes.
I
Yeah,
actually
whatever
kind of
that
dig.
was called.
I actually kind of dig that movie. That's
never saw it.
Frankenstein.
Victor Frankenstein. I'm like, what's going on with these Frankenstein rights? Can somebody make a good Frankenstein movie? Jeez.
It was like they had like a really cool like plot element where like Victor like tied Igor up like against a pole and like with like a
Oh my
belt.
god, it was a year later. It was
He, like-
2015.
Yeah, he like
Frankenstein.
dude, it was cool. He like cracked his back in like the proper way and like it like released some fluid to like help with like fix his
Sounds
hunch.
Disgusting.
They fixed his hunch and I was like, oh, that's dope. Like he's helping him out as a friend. I like this dynamic and like the whole look of the film too, and like the bring the dead to life and the experiments he had were really cool. I actually dug it a lot.
Mm. But yeah,
But
I mean,
yeah, and yeah, I was also talking about Dracula Untold with Luke Evans, which was very superpower based, but it was also within like the old time period, which then ended with who's
with
the
that
dude
weird post credit scene. Yeah.
who's the dude from Game of Thrones that was in King of the Monsters?
Shit.
It's Charles Dance.
Charles
yeah.
Dance.
Yeah, he was like the game's begun or something. I was like, what?
It's like no.
Can
it
I just
hasn't.
say
Get out of here.
he is so good in Mank, you guys. Like he's fantastic. I can't wait for you guys to
In
watch that
what?
movie.
Mank.
In Mank.
Mank. I forgot he was in Mank.
I
Yeah.
didn't know. I only know that Gary Oldman's in Mank. I don't know who else is in there.
That's Friday, right? Holy crap!
Yeah, Friday. It's a big
Jeez,
weekend.
I have so much stuff to
at-home
watch
movies.
on Friday. Hey, we give our own
Moon, can
podcast
you-
listener.
We're talking about full moons, so you can't expect not a cameo. But yeah, you know,
yeah.
I love connected universes, but also properly done correctly. And And I
Me
think
too. Not like the Mummy, where it's like, hey, look at all my connections.
no, and it's funny because like literally Universal, it was the first like actual studio to have connected franchises like that. So
it was, yes.
it's right up their alley. I was actually I even like consider, I don't think they should remake it, but I would also consider like in terms of Universal monsters, I'd count Jaws as one of them. Because Universal made it. It is horror-esque, man. It's scary.
Yeah, I can't wait to see Adam Wingard do the next Jaws remake. Yeah, before.
It might kill it. You don't know. The Meg, but good.
They're making a sequel.
How long?
Meg?
Yeah, it's in development already. Yeah. How long until they do another horror-themed version of The Mummy? Like, are they waiting to get The Mummy 2017 out of people's minds? Like,
I think they'll do everything.
But no one saw it.
nobody saw it. Yeah.
I think they'll do the big names first. I think they'll do Dracula.
Mummy isn't big?
No, he is, but we just had him.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Her. We just had the Mummy. So, which sucks because like you got what's her name? Sophia Boutella.
She was perfect casting. It's just the movie around her was just oof.
Hell, even at the same time, Johnny Depp was supposed to be the Invisible Man. Like that's crazy.
Yeah, he was. Jeez.
And Javier Bardem was going to be Frankenstein's monster.
The problem is they try to launch it as an action franchise. That was mistake number one.
Yeah. Weird ending where Tom Cruise gets the Mummy's powers and brings back Nick Kroll from the dead.
It was an awful.
He's not full Mummy, but he has like hints of bandages around his hand and stuff, and it creates a sandstorm. What is happening?
I'm like, Tom, just go back to mission. Just go back.
I'm not trying. Yeah, I don't need Avengers. I don't want Avengers Universal. I want horror Universal. Like,
and I think
you can still have. And I think you can still have action. Like we had intense, like intimate fight scenes in Invisible Man. I think you could have stuff.
The hospital sequence. Oh my god!
You can have stuff like that in Van Helsing too, where it's like hand-to-hand combat, but with like a freaking like a wooden stake for.
Oh yeah, real quick, Nathan. Since you're a fan, is there any good Van Helsing movies that you would recommend? Because I've heard of the character, just like I don't know any great Van Helsing movies or material.
If you want to dive into like cheesy stuff, I do recommend the Van Helsing movie with Hugh Jackman. It's
okay. I've never seen it. Yeah, I love Hugh Jackman.
It's pretty enjoyable. There's actually like a lot of big cast in there, I think. Otherwise, I recommend all the like Hammer horror stuff where with Christopher Lee as Dracula primarily and Peter Cushing as Van Helsing.
Oh wow! Okay, yeah, I would definitely look this all up because I want to dive into all this horror craziness. I feel like after I went through Haunting of Hill House, I can handle anything now. On top of the world.
Yeah, it's actually interesting because like a lot of their like horror elements, George carried over into Star Wars. Like whole like instance of Count Dooku, it's Count Dracula. You look at that Stoic Cape, hell yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. It gets wacky at times, but that's just horror for you. There's so many versions of the Mummy, by the way. It's insane. There's like the Mummy's hand, the Mummy's curse, the Mummy's tomb, like
all the way back to like what the
30s.
The 30s, right? Yeah, I was gonna say I can't remember 30s or 40s, but it's so crazy.
Cinema.
Even earlier than that, like did like a lot of like the 20s, like really the actual start of filmmaking. A lot of different stuff with like the Phantom of the Opera or like the Hunchback stories and all that.
Where is our Rian Johnson Phantom of the Opera remake? Oh my god!
Oh please, I would love a Phantom of the Opera.
Somebody said like on Twitter, like Ryan, when you can do Phantom of the Opera, he was like he gave like a tweet reaction to it. I'm like, dude, because like all the Last Jedi parallels to Phantom of the Opera.
It won't happen.
The mystery of Knives Out 2 is a period piece set in the Phantom.
And it won't happen. Cool. It won't happen. But if he were to announce Adam Driver as the Phantom, he would break.
Internet would explode, dude.
Yeah. Dude, but also,
here's my
amazing casting too.
Here's my money. Yes, I would see that in a second.
You mean I get to have the broken masked person and he sings?
And then Daisy Ridley also into it. Oh, dude, just imagine.
The Raylos would break the internet.
Oh,
that'd be
hell yeah.
That'd be the best day ever.
Hell yeah. But yeah. Also, yeah, please Adam Knives Out too. But
please
make it happen.
I think that about covers all of our random tangents. Otherwise,
I think we're good. I've seen a couple of great stuff. As I mentioned earlier, Hulu has been killing it recently. I'll start off with one of my favorites of the year, Run. It feels like I've talked about this movie with you guys before, but it must have been on something else. But yeah,
I feel like we
Run.
did review it. Did we not review it?
Did we
I can't
not?
remember.
I'm not sure.
Not
It's
on
been a
here.
couple weeks. Not on here. I think it was like did at the end of Hyperspace Hype or something. But Run, directed by Anish Kajanti. Crap, I butchered that last name.
Villanueva.
Denis Villeneuve. The guy who did the Searching movie from 2018, Run, with Sarah Paulson, and I forget the main actress, but she's very new. This is her first role. She's actually handicapped, and I just thought the movie was phenomenal. It's like in my top 5 of the year easily. It's a great tense thriller mystery. With just like Searching, the writing keeps you going. Like there's so many different the writing and directing. I think the directing was on point. Because people didn't know, like after Searching, it's like, can you direct movies outside of the Searching format? And if you haven't seen Searching, it's all from like a computer. That's like the big gimmick with Searching. This one isn't like that at all. It's just like a normal movie, but it's directed very well. Like the directorial cues in the Searching is great. In Run is great. A lot of the cinematography is phenomenal. A lot of the shots is just like very memorable. And it really reminds me of some of the Jordan Peele movies in terms of like good horror thrillers that are just very, very entertaining and that keep you guessing the entire time. I loved Run.
I was stressed the entire movie.
Right? Like from the very beginning, you're like, okay, what's going on? You're trying to like understand the dilemma and the mystery as it unfolds, and just that discovery was so entertaining. Oh my god! It's a really good movie.
There's so many like Hulu things I need to check out. Like what was Palm Springs came out? I still need to see that.
Palm Springs is one of the best of the year too. Still my top 10 as well.
So I hear. Also, shout out. Brendan Fraser had a great Mummy iteration. It was very fun.
Oh, those movies are classics. Like whenever I go home, I watch like either it's between The Mummy or National Treasure for one of the best comfort movies of all time for me. I can quote like The Mummy and Mummy Returns all the time.
It was late 90s, right? I can't remember.
The Mummy came out in 1999. Oh, dang. Nathan beat me to the movie release date question. Okay.
And then I think it was 2001 for the sequel. And then the third one was rather later, and they couldn't get Rachel
Weisz back. Yeah. Oof. Yeah, Mummy Returns are classics.
Was she supposed to be the same character?
She was. Yeah, she was Evie.
She looks so different.
So different. You're like, who you fooling? I'm not. Right? I wasn't born yesterday.
Literally.
But yeah, Run. I really recommend Run. Hulu has been killing it. Palm Springs is also great, Nathan. But also speaking of Hulu, I did watch Happiest Season over the Thanksgiving weekend.
That's just a movie, right?
That is a movie, Happiest Season. Yeah.
I keep hearing season, and I'm not thinking holiday season. I'm thinking like, yes, season 1 of a show.
Yeah, the happiest season 1 that I've ever experienced.
Happiest season. Everyone name your happiest season 1s.
They said this was the first LGBT rom-com, like first lesbian rom-com ever. I'm like, that's not true, right?
That's crazy.
That can't be true. First lesbian rom-com? Like
Are
maybe.
They all dramas? Are they all dramas?
Like, yeah, are they all like dark? Like, Booksmart isn't a rom-com, it's a comedy, so I guess that makes sense. But I'm like, I don't know. First lesbian rom-com. But either way, with Aubrey Plaza isn't the main lead, but she's a great supporting character. The two leads are Kristen Stewart and Mackenzie Davis, both of which have incredible chemistry together. Very charming movie.
What's Mackenzie Davis from? I recognize
Terminator Dark Fate. She played the Terminator. And she's in Blade Runner 2049.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Oh, it's nice.
She's great. She's phenomenal. Kristen Stewart continues to be very, very good. Unlike Robert Pattinson, I haven't seen a lot of the indie movies that Kristen Stewart has done. I've seen a couple.
Everyone praises Personal Shopper. I need to watch that.
I haven't seen Personal Shopper.
It's fantastic. Go. That's like the first one I would recommend. Personal Shopper is. Okay, well, trigger warning, grief. It's about grief, and there's a lot about coping with grief. It's a heavy movie, but it is also fantastic, and I think just a really well done and thoughtful take on everything. I
Is
love that
it
movie.
better than Charlie's Angels?
Oh, by far.
Okay, just check.
By far.
But yeah, Happiest Season is very charming, heartwarming, and it gets deep too. In terms, I don't want to give away the plot if you guys don't know the plot. But yeah, it's Mackenzie Davis has some conservative parents, and like their relationship struggles because of that, and it gets into some deep places. And I liked that. It wasn't just like a traditional rom com. It followed the traditional formula. Because I've seen tons of rom coms. I love rom coms. It follows the traditional formula, but it also includes some deep themes as well. And yeah, I just loved it so much. I wasn't surprised at all when it was like trending over the weekend because it's a very good like conversation starter for people to have in terms of like, oh, which relationship did you like in this movie? I want to see more of this character. Like the director, Clea Duvall, probably butchered that name, wants to do a sequel with maybe Aubrey Plaza again, or maybe the same characters again. So there's room for it. Like Hulu, this is a big success for Hulu. Even after Run, Palm Springs, and Happiest Season, I think Hulu's on a good run this year. Pun intended.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Guys, yeah, look out Netflix.
Yeah, look out Netflix. You can't keep doing Enola Holmes. I'm just kidding. I like Enola Holmes.
They do one Enola Holmes.
Yeah, I know.
It's like, yes, Extraction, and what was the Charlize Theron one?
Old Guard.
All right, guys. I hate to be the burden, but I do kind of got to wrap it up just because I have homework and stuff to get to.
That's cool.
Fair enough.
But I know, unless Nathan has a good review. But yeah, I know he wanted to say Rocket Man.
You know, yeah, I mean, I could go real fast. So just like, I haven't seen the film in a while, but I've definitely talked previously how much I adore it. It's my favorite musical biopic.
And you introduced it to me. Amazing experience.
Yes. I mean, on the flip side, the reason I was watching, I was introducing a majority of my friends. Emma had already seen it, but she was joining us with it. Rest of my friends were seeing it for the first time. For my birthday, a little watch party. It was funny. They were all like, I was asking like, anybody want to like get together for my birthday and like watch my favorite musical? And everybody's like,
said no.
No, they were like, we were gonna. They were like 4 hours earlier. We were planning to surprise you, so I ruined my birthday surprise, which never happens to me. I never.
They
have a
knew you
birthday
too
surprise.
well.
I knew myself too well. I guess. I was like expecting like I'm gonna have a depressing alone birthday. Let me not. And then they were like, no, damn it. So that went on, and it was great just because I'm always reminded every time to watch like the theme of like self-forgiveness and stuff and like caring for yourself, and it's so phenomenal. Also, a scene that I really needed, there's a great rooftop scene between Taron Egerton and Jamie Bell where like it's kind of like leading into like one likes the other but the other doesn't feel the same way, but they still have that bond of friendship, which is phenomenal. And turns out it was like a motivation I needed to hear because I was the very next day asking out somebody, which actually worked out for the best anyway, so that's awesome.
Go movies, giving optimism. We
Hell
love to
yeah.
see it.
Musicals already just Oscar winning in my book. So
now go watch La La Land.
Hell yeah.
Watch a double feature. Why not?
Yeah.
Watch La La Land first for sadness, then cure it with Rocket Man's optimism.
No. At the end of watching Rocket Man, even though it has an uplifting ending, like the whole time we were watching, I was like, "Wow, I am sorry, I forgot how dark it can get." Like the downward spiral of drugs and stuff. Like, there's so much unhappiness.
The pool scene, he's like at the bottom of the pool, and I'm like, oh my gosh, how am I gonna get through this?
And it's so gorgeous how it's handled. It's so fantastical, but at the same time, it's like, oh yeah, he's on the gurney and his manager's giving him shit for being selfish, and like then he goes like immediately into the performance of Rocket Man. Like they show the way they showcase of just like picking him up from the table to then suit him up into like the Dodger Stadium bedazzled suit and just give him a shot right out, fake smile, practicing fake smiles in the mirror is a theme, and it's insane. And then it's not fixed from there, and everything's, oh my god, it's so good. Please, if you have not seen Rocket Man, I highly recommend.
Great movie. Great picture.
Oh, what a picture.
What a picture.
So, yeah. All right, so that would about do it here for Hyperspace Hype. Good runtime to be under 2 hours, thank God. So, with that being said, Carson's got to get out here, but where can they find you?
You guys can find me on Twitter at Film Carson. probably talking about this weekend as more people watch it. I'll probably give my full review, and we all can kind of review it next week or whenever we get to review it. Yeah, just talking about which movies are going to go streaming, which movies not, that kind of stuff. Will Wonder Woman make money? It is yet to be seen. But yeah, can't wait for Hyperspace hype on Friday. We'll have probably a more laid back episode, hopefully with less reveals, maybe a fun side adventure this week. Looks to be that way. But we'll see.
Evan, where can they find you?
Find me on Twitter at HarrisEV9 and on Hyperspace Hype discussing how Baby Yoda got kidnapped on Friday. I'm off kidding.
Oh, no.
That would be crazy. But yeah, I'm doing good. It's a stressful week. It's finals week. I just can't wait to relax. Friday's going to be very uplifting for me for Mandalorian. A lot of great anime. Mank is on Friday. So I'm just waiting for it to be Friday so I can just relax and actually fall asleep.
And as always, you can find me here on the channel. I got most of my friends' reaction to the entirety of Rocket Man, so I'm gonna edit that and try to put that out. So that'll be fun. Big old freak outs at a lot of moments. It was a lot of fun. So that being said, you can catch all of our social medias linked in the description below. Catch us every Wednesday, catch us every Friday for Star Wars specific podcasts. And that being said, if you enjoyed this one, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe if not already, and I hope you have a great day. And may the Force be with you always.